Oh, hi. So you might be wondering, why are we in a car? Well, the grand question, who am I, was asked, and I felt with my life's journey, being in a car is only feel appropriate. Now, with any story epic, let's just start from the beginning. My name is Tamara Favours, and I was born in 2000 at Travis Air Force Base in California as a middle child of an American military family. I have a huge family between my parents with many aunts and uncles and countless cousins all over the country. So it was only 5 of us living on the west side. How is someone knocking? The car is literally...
Hello.
Hello?
I'm in the United States Air Force. Your father has orders for a relocation to complete his training.
And with that, we're moving. After only living there for 5 years, I remember little to nothing of my home state, though I wish to one day visit the West Coast again. My next stop is in the deep south state of Louisiana. My dad had training in Mississippi, so he would drive back every weekend. I lived in the small town of Oakta, which was filled with people related to me. I lived in my papa's house, so random people would just walk into the house and just say, "I'm your cousin." While my mom's siblings and I lived at the house, my 2 aunts and cousins lived there as well. Plus, my uncle was 2 hours away, so it basically felt like the Full House, but Southern edition. Everything was going great until... Category 5 Hurricane Katrina hit Louisiana and other neighboring states, but we weren't fully impacted. But then, Category 5 Hurricane Rita was in the direct path for us. My family and I had to evacuate to my dad in Texas, where he continued his training after Katrina. We were lucky that there wasn't too much damage to my papa's house.
Hello. Due to the damage made by both Category 5 hurricanes, your father will be clear of his training early and relocating you to your next position.
Even though I was only 6 years old, it felt weird leaving Louisiana, even living there for only 1 year. Little did I know how much damage both hurricanes have caused and how much the government reacted to the aftermath. The next state I lived in was New Mexico. We were stationed in Holloman Air Force Base, in the middle of nowhere. It was a small city where everybody knew everybody, and just the stomach booms periodically.
Due to a very stern request from your mother, you are being relocated to anywhere that is not a desert.
After 2 years of being in New Mexico, I moved to Virginia. From all the states that I lived in so far, Virginia holds a very special place in my heart. Moving there when I was 8, it was the longest state that I ever lived in. Even though I was younger, having a new start again was pretty scary. Virginia just felt so much like home. We didn't live on base this time, however we weren't too far from Langley Air Force Base. I got into playing the viola and was first chair at the middle school and even my freshman year of high school. I did cheerleading for a bit, but then started to play basketball. It had all 4 seasons in Virginia. Autumn was my favorite. It really felt like Christmas with all the snow during the winter. One time we were out of school for 2 weeks straight, but one decision changed everything. My dad decided to retire from the military.
Goodbye.
I refused to think that I was going to move again. However, my dad found a job in Florida, and then everything started to shift. My dad left to start working in Florida. My mom was working on selling her house. My sister was finishing up her senior year of high school, and she was looking at colleges in Florida as well. Knowing for sure that I was going to move again broke my heart. It hurt knowing that I would have to start all over again, especially in the middle of high school. I was leaving behind my crazy friends. I wasn't going to play in the orchestra again because I didn't have programs at school in Florida. Everything was changing. And after 7 years of living in Virginia, I moved to Florida. I was absolutely terrified of my first day of school. I didn't want to be the new student in the 10th grade. There was only 3 years left of my class to graduate, and everybody had their own friends group. So I just cut to myself. I didn't really hang out with friends or go to any parties on the weekends. I became very introverted and distant even to my family. I started to give up on other things. Music used to be my outlet, but I lost the will to play anymore. My grades weren't doing so well either. I was in an all-time low. But little did I know that one small class in 10th grade would change my life forever. I decided to enroll in my school's TV production program. I enjoyed every second of that class, making short films, news and event coverage, and just being able to figure out what I want to do to pursue my future. With how bittersweet it is, maybe moving was a good thing. I wouldn't have learned about media and to one day want to work for NBC and cover the Olympics. But right now, my stop within my journey is at Full Sail, and I can't wait to see what's ahead for me.